It's often been said that if you change your habits, you can change your entire life. But which habits do you have to change for that to happen? I decided to find out. Hello, lovely humans, and welcome back. So, about 2 months ago, before I got the new do, and before I started using a personal trainer through Trainwell, I decided that I needed to make some changes in my life. My goal is to get happy and healthy, and to do so, I am a genuine believer that I need to have some good, healthy habits in place. So, I took a minute to kind of think about what habits I should put in place, and I came up with a few things. I don't know if these are going to be the same things that would work for you and your lives to make it better. So, if you happen to think of some other healthy habits, I want you to let me know below. But what I decided to do, I wanted to start for a full week and just kind of see, of all of my ideas, what actually made sense in the long run. The first habit that I wanted to put in place was to only watch TV or read books while I was exercising, because I felt like it took up a lot of my time otherwise. The second habit that I wanted to put in place for the week was no eating out. It is way too easy to give into that dopamine hunting impulse where you just have to get that food and you gotta have it now. And I end up eating way unhealthier when I eat out.
I feel like I'm gonna explode.
Third habit that I wanted to put in place is putting my health first, which meant that I needed to do my PT exercises for my foot because I am still recovering from that injury. Every single day for those. And I wanted to make it to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. Every day, I wanted to write down my to-do list for the next day so I know what I needed to work on. And I wanted to make sure to put my gym clothes in my car so they were ready and I had no excuse not to go. The last 3 habits were simple: go to bed on time, clean up my house for at least 15 minutes a day, and to edit YouTube videos for 30 minutes a day. What you're about to see is how well that went over the course of 1 week.
It is day 1 and we have survived a surprisingly chaotic Monday at work. It is 1,000 degrees in my car, so I'm going to make this really speedy so I can turn on the AC. I have my gym bag in the car ready to go, and I actually remembered my headphones. I made sure to pack my breakfast and my lunch in a bag, had them ready to go. The only thing that bit me in the freaking butt is I wasn't paying attention to which sandwich I grabbed from the fridge, and I accidentally grabbed one with jalapenos that I cannot eat because I have the whitest taste buds in the entire land, and it's depressing. So I'm starving because my lunch was basically crackers and yogurt, so I actually have to stop at home instead of going straight to the gym, so I'm rather annoyed with myself for that. But I am going to try to keep up the enthusiasm and just change it home and get my butt to the gym after I've had a healthy snack. And I didn't even go to the vending machine.
Yeah, now we're talking.
I purposely had my lunch upstairs so I wouldn't be tempted to either go to the vending machines or to get anything from the cafeteria line, because the only thing I'd be getting is cookies. Let's face it, I'd be struggling. We're off to a good but toasty start. So I'm gonna go start my car before I have a heat stroke.
So we are home. I'm starving. My thumb is being burned off because I just had this in the microwave. We have pasta. I know that's probably not the healthiest go-to, but it's leftovers, and at least I didn't go to a restaurant drive-thru, even though I wanted to. I'll take it. I am now dressed for the gym. Finally, it took me forever because, as it turns out, eating without looking at something or talking to someone kind of sucks. So I sort of ended up futzing with my phone and then got distracted on Facebook, and I was like, okay, I think I might need to incorporate social media into this. Otherwise, all I'm gonna do is replace TV and reading with Pinterest and Facebook, and that kind of defeats the purpose. I need to learn how to be alone with my own thoughts and not always have to have a distraction, and maybe figure out how the heck people just sit down and eat and enjoy their food before cell phones came around. Never thought this would be a problem I have. It's very weird. But we're going to the gym. Y'all, my thighs did me so dirty. They ate my gym shorts and basically had me looking like I was pregnant with food. I survived. It was about 42 minutes altogether. I couldn't get everything on tape just because it's like 5 o'clock. There's a million people in the gym. It's already awkward to film, especially as like a rotund woman who is getting a hell of a lot of chub rub right now.
My thighs are on fire.
I actually feel super freaking motivated right now and really refreshed. I didn't go down as much in strength as I thought I would. It's actually pretty standard, more or less. even though I've only been going to the gym literally like once or twice a month. I'm hoping that this week will kind of help get me back on track, but right now I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through the rest of the list of things I'm supposed to be doing on this challenge, but no. We are doing healthy self-talk. I am going to get through the rest of the list of things I'm working on. Air. Why do I live in Texas? Like, why?
3 hours later.
I have made an error. And that error was apparently sitting down because all my energy was like, psh, bye. I don't know where she went, but she gone. And I still, according to my list, need to do the cooking of my dinner, which of course is the number one thing I always put off because I'm just like, oh, I have to make dishes. And I need to do editing and PTing my foot and cleaning what's left of the kitchen. None of which sounds remotely appealing. I don't like being a responsible adult sometimes, but I guess I need to suck it up a little bit. I absolutely hate cooking in a dirty kitchen, so when I finally get a chance to clean it, it gets me so much more motivated to prep my meals for the week. If you can take just a few minutes out of each day to clean your kitchen, it will make your life so much easier. I am notorious for saving tons of recipes on Pinterest and Instagram and never ever cooking them. So I decided I was going to actually go through my recipes and make this veggie bake. It was more of a potato latke, but what you do is you mix everything up in the food processor and you just smear it out on a tray and you cook it. You can serve it with sour cream if you want. I tried a little bit of Greek yogurt, but actually it ended up being really good if you serve it with applesauce on top. Trust me, if you've ever had latkes, you know. I also made sure to cook the salmon so I had no excuse to go out to eat the next day. Are you trying to figure out what I'm doing? It's not a snack. No. I'm losing marbles. Good morning. I clearly am exhausted. I did go to bed on time. I'm very proud of myself for that, but I did not get enough sleep. Just as a whole, I think I'm still playing catch up. I'm off to a good start at least. I've got my day written down for what I'm going to do to like stick with all of my goals, and I'm going to start because I'm blessed enough to get off at noon today. I am going to start with taking a nap because I want to make sure that I'm rested so that my impulses are not like all over the place and I'm just trying to like immediately go out and stuff face. So we have a plan and we're going to go to work and then we're going to go get some Z's. After I got home, my cleaning activity for the day was tackling the remainder of the dishes in the kitchen so that I could get my blender out and make myself like a protein dessert smoothie. I've been kind of obsessed with these and I will include the recipe below. This is legit the most frustrating like dessert smoothie, which is more of a protein powder smoothie. I'm trying to make them healthier that I think I've ever made. My husband was being super helpful and tried to put the blender back together before putting it away and forgot the very key part of the rubber seal on the bottom. So I put all my stuff in thinking that it was ready to go and then it just all poured out the bottom. So my entire kitchen's covered with milk. How's your day going? After feeling a little bit fuller on my chaotic smoothie disaster, I started on my PT exercises for my feet. I've been doing a lot of work with strengthening my glutes since those can also affect your feet when they're weak, and of course, working on my feet. Right here I'm doing toe yoga, which is the strangest thing ever, but is really good for isolating those muscles in your feet. I did watch a little bit of TV while I was working on my exercises and then got so tired I passed out on the couch for a little bit, which the cats were thoroughly excited about.
Later.
I'm going to be doing my 30 minutes of editing because I am sticking with my goals this week. And I did have dinner at home. I ate everything that I had prepped the day before. The salmon was delicious, although a little bit crispy. And the roasted veggie part was really good, except for I realized that when I used some veggies from a friend's garden, I was actually using a misshapen cucumber, not a misshapen zucchini. So the flavor was slightly off, but I will say if you make it correctly, it's actually pretty good. So I did get through my entire to-do list today, which I'm kind of amazed with. I met all of my goals, with the exception of a smidge of TV watching, because I was trying to put away laundry and my husband was like watching TV in the background and I was just like getting sucked in, and it gave me like childhood flashbacks. If I was grounded or something, like in my wee little Heather years, I remember my parents would be like watching TV and I would be finding like any excuse to go through the living room like, I gotta get a cup of water 97 times and be like, around the couch trying to like catch glimpses of TV, and I'm like, man, TV addiction kind of dies hard. But after kind of thinking about it throughout today, I did at least stay occupied, like putting things away, like actually putting them away, not 6-year-old me style putting things away. So I got my dining room cleaned, which was my intention to focus on for the house today, and I also got some laundry done. I'm finding that watching TV only when I'm exercising or only reading when I'm exercising doesn't really work, because realistically, we are going to be awake for multiple hours a day. I can't actually just be up and about for 16 hours a day. My feet would be like, biatch, get off of us before we like throw you down. They already hate me. So while that's not really feasible, I am finding that if I make the habit of doing everything on my to-do list and then having TV be an option, I think that's actually a lot more reasonable. I'm going to adapt that part of the goals a little bit, basically just to be the whole like no TV or books until I'm actually done with everything on my to-do list, instead of feeling like I'm never going to get caught up because I've been watching too much TV. Kind of like flip-flop it and make it my reward for a little downtime. I think that's a lot more reasonable rather than being like scurrying around like a chicken with my head cut off for 16 hours a day. In life, we really need some balance between work and play. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, yeah, my house is spotless and I'm dead inside. So let's not do that. In regards to my food intake, I have not gone out to eat in 2 days, and for me, that's kind of a big deal because it really became a habit. I started cooking a little bit more, very minimally, because my father-in-law hooked it up with like some pre-made meats and stuff, which made it a lot easier to just prep like parts of meals instead of like entire meals. The first day, I didn't even have dessert because I was so stinking busy. It actually kind of helped to take my mind off of it. I didn't really start craving it until the end of the day. Today, I was feeling a little bit more snacky, and I noticed that a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was tired and wanted to relax. So the nap helped a little bit, but I would say I was a smidge more snacky on like little crackers and cookies that we had at home. So I'm still working on that part and trying not to bring them into the house. But honestly, that's still considerable progress from where things started out. We just spent 2 hours in the backyard. I am coated in dirt and sweat from head to toe, so I'm about to go take a shower. And then I'm going to head to my physical therapy appointment to work on this wretched foot of mine. I do feel like I made some good progress in the backyard. It's just very slow going because it's disgustingly hot outside, as you can tell from my lovely tomato face. And all the shrub roots that I'm trying to remove are really thick, but we at least made some progress. I'm also going to try, if I have any energy left, to stop by the gym on the way home so I can check another thing off my list. I am back from physical therapy. I unfortunately did not have enough time to stop by the gym, but I did have enough time to at least grab a couple of groceries. So 11 a.m. was like the earliest time they had available. Hello, little one. And unfortunately, that means that's like right in the middle of when I would normally be eating lunch. And then I was supposed to get out and then try to squeeze a little bit of gym time in between when I had to get home because I had an exterminator coming. Well, that backfired. I didn't even get to the gym. I basically went straight to Walmart, got my groceries, but by that point I was starving. And I was trying to plan ahead because I know if I get hungry, I'm going to end up, going to a restaurant and getting some garbage through the drive-thru. I at least managed to have enough in the way of snacks with me that I was able to like avoid the drive-thru. But by the time I actually got to Walmart, I was just like hangry and the pastry aisle was calling my name. So I was at least able to talk myself out of getting any bulk pastry. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to, screw up my diet, let me at least screw it up. Yes, I'll keep petting you. I'm going to at least screw it up with, like the individually packaged stuff. So I got like a 2-pack of donuts, which obviously is still not good. That's a ton of calories, but I could have got an entire cake. So for me, that's at least progress. Obviously, I still have a long way to go to get like everything healthy. But what I'm trying to do is troubleshoot. So, I'm sorry, are we moving? So in terms of troubleshooting, and yes, I did change my angle. I'm trying to be a good YouTuber here. But what I'll be doing is basically trying to change what days I have PT on, because that way I can actually do it at an earlier hour. 11 o'clock is the earliest time they have on Wednesdays, and that doesn't work because then I end up hangry and buying garbage. So troubleshooting, better than nothing. At least I know what works and what doesn't. Unfortunately, now I'm also like too full to want regular lunch, so I've kind of messed up my eating schedule. Like this is unhelpful. But I didn't go home with anything dessert-wise other than those 2 stinking donuts. So for me, that's pretty dang good, actually. Which is kind of a sad statement, but hey, we're getting there.
When I finally got hungry later, I made some avocado toast with scrambled eggs on top, a little bit of tomatoes, onions, and everything but the bagel seasoning. It was decently filling enough, and at least there's some healthy fats in there, so I didn't feel like I did too badly.
As it turns out, doing yard work when there's a heat advisory is probably not the brightest idea, even if it is early in the morning, because I have yet to recover my energy level and feel like a zombie. It's not going to be a super duper efficient day, but it will be at least a little bit efficient because we are going to get our butts to editing. I know this is terrible body mechanics, but It is what it is. I'm just gonna have a crick in my neck. I am too exhausted to get off this couch. Editing is still getting done, and that's okay. So, small update. Editing just got a little bit more challenging because someone is trying to make biscuits on my ribs. Oh, sorry. Did I make you mad? Okay, well, at least I can type now.
For dinner, I had steak and potatoes, as well as a little bit of Greek yogurt on the side for something sweet, although I probably should have had some vegetables. I ended up full by that point.
So every night I have gotten in a new habit, since part of my challenge is to actually, clean my pigsty of a house. My first priority is basically going through the house and finding all of the things that I left behind throughout the day, like my everything but the bagel seasoning, and to put that crap away. Not only does that help me to get a whole lot more steps in, because as it turns out, I am a messy, messy human being, but it leaves me feeling a lot less cluttered mentally because my space is less cluttered. Now, if I actually have enough time in the day and energy, of course, to finish all my, cleaning up after myself, that's when I add a new room onto the list. For today, I wanted to get around to cleaning the bathroom, but honestly, I was so dang tired, I spent way too much time on the couch, so we're just going with the route of cleaning up my clutter. And I'm kind of okay with that. Some days are going to be really, really productive in your journey, and other days might look a little bit slower. Sometimes it's a little bit of motivation that's just not there, and sometimes your body just needs the rest. And I'm trying to be better about listening to my body in that regard, but not necessarily just melting into the couch.
Bear with me. I am wishing that I could hold on to that exercise high all the time, because I feel like I would just go to the gym every single day because I feel amazing right now. So I adapted my usual routine from being a couple of minutes on the stair stepper at kind of a light and easy pace in terms of being a warm up to actually doing a leg and hip mobility style warm up. And I feel like at my age, that made a huge difference. So if you're not really sure what to do as mobility warm-ups, feel free to just, do what I did if you want to, at your own discretion, all that jazz. But if you're just not sure what to do, you can also just look up basic warm-up leg day mobility workouts on TikTok or Instagram, and there's a million of them on there. It's pretty freaking handy. So after my gym trip, I now have noodle legs, but I basically was I'm gonna make an executive decision to actually relax for a hot minute, because realistically, I'm kind of pooped and I need a mental break. So I am on the couch watching some TV with my little fuzzy cretins over here. I actually am feeling really good in terms of mental health right now. I took the time to make something to go with dinner. We had our pre-prep meats. We already had fried chicken, which I realized, fried obviously is not as healthy, but it was free and I ain't complaining. It was also delicious. But I took a chance to actually make some gravy from scratch and make mashed potatoes. That might seem like something really minor to you guys, but for me, actually having enough time to process that, wow, I can make something. And I cooked some corn in the microwave, really basic. I don't normally have the time and energy to do that. And I feel like this week, the fact that I've been trying to do cooking, even if it's just small scale at home, and trying to go to the gym and trying to go to bed on time, has really just snowballed, but in a good way. I feel less bloated. I don't know, I feel like I'm on the right track, even though my TV watching is a little bit struggling. Now, I definitely do still need to edit, because I'm a wee bit behind on that part, because I did start watching TV earlier. So full disclosure, I'm not perfect on this challenge. And frankly, your girl's tired and wants some relaxation too. But I'm honestly just really happy right now. I don't know. I feel like I've kind of figured out the thing that works. The biggest one, though, is the fact that I've been taking time in the evenings to just scurry around my house and take 15 minutes to clean up after myself. In my head, I'm always oh, I don't have time. I don't have time. And while, yes, there's a million things I have to do in one day, I won't necessarily get them all done. If I make that particular thing one of my priorities, I feel like it helps to kind of declutter my brain. And I am definitely liking the side effects. This challenge is kind of working out nicely for me.
Good morning.
Today is serving as an excellent reminder of why structure is important, especially in regard to how much TV I'm watching and when I'm watching it. So because yesterday I was kind of just like lounging about because I was tired and just over it, I did not pack my gym clothes for today. So I had to scurry around this morning trying to get them. And normally I would probably just not get them and not end up going to the gym after work. I didn't write out my to-do list in advance for the day. So I'm going to have to squeeze that in on my lunch break so I have something to focus on when I get home. Didn't get my editing done. And I stayed up too late on TikTok.
Wow, you really are awful at this.
So we're not off to a great start, but I at least have a good attitude in spite of being tired, and I am going to try to make sure it is an excellent day.
My work lunch was a little bit chaotic. I had leftover mashed potatoes and gravy. Someone dropped off burritos for breakfast in the break room, so I had one of those. And at that point, I was too full to finish the yogurt or the kiwi, so I saved them for later. Girl lunch, I guess.
This workday officially kicked my butt. I'm having trouble walking at this point. Had to like hobble my way to the car, and now I'm currently pinned down by 2 felines while I ice my useless lump of a foot. They're loving that I'm sitting still for that long. Truthfully, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the gym. Not from lack of wanting to. This day was kind of like a crap fest at work, and I am exhausted and would kind of like to like blow off some steam with some solid working out. But to be completely honest, the standing part is so freaking difficult. The idea of walking from machine to machine or even to the weight room like sounds like hell on earth. And I'm finding that if I go, especially on a Friday night at a 5 o'clock session, there's going to be no freaking benches for me to do, especially the incline benches, for me to do anything on. That is the side effect, unfortunately, of only paying for Planet Fitness and not like 24-hour fitness, but your girl's on a budget. Hi. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm still going to count it towards the gym, but I'm going to finish icing my foot so I don't like run screaming or, hobble screaming. And then I am going to do an adapted at-home version because I do have weights here that are equivalent to what I would use at the gym. It was my push day, which makes it a whole lot easier because I don't have like the pull day stuff here. Push day I got. So we are going to do an adapted home workout.
Day 6 was not as efficient as I would have liked. I watched quite a bit of TV and just casually forgot that I was supposed to be only watching it while working out. But we went to my in-laws' house for lunch, so we ate there, and honestly, it was just really nice to get to spend some quality time with Javi. For day 7, I wanted to make sure I finished strong. I'm happy to say that I actually managed to get through all 7 days without ever going out to eat, which is huge for me. I also got my editing done, and I will say, in terms of TV, that one was long gone. We watched TV while I iced my foot because it was just not having it. Out of the course of the whole week, I actually still managed to lose weight. I started at 246 and got down to 244.6. It was kind of amazing.
So that was the end of my 1 week, and I kind of figured out that in terms of TV, I'm realistically not going to give it up.
I changed my mind. This TV is awesome.
I did, however, get the reality check that I was watching way too much TV and needed to reel it in a lot because it made me so much more efficient when I wasn't always watching TV or always sitting on the couch reading a book. But at this point, we're about 2 months out from that 1 week video. And maybe you're wondering, okay, did any of these good habits stick? Well, I'm happy to report that they did. I've now gotten in the habit whenever I come home from work or right before bed, I go through the house for about 15 to 30 minutes and I try to just clean up after myself because I am a messy, messy human. I have come to terms with that. But now it gets a little bit better every night instead of me saving it all for the weekends. I have done much better at going to bed on time, although it is still not consistent. I think that will probably be a long-term struggle, but I can definitely tell a difference on the nights where I do manage to get enough sleep because when I'm rested, I don't have as many issues with impulse control, which means that my diet is better. I definitely have done even better with the gym workouts. I definitely got like a gym high for that 1 week while I tried it. Absolutely fell in love with working out 3 times a week. And I started Trainwell the week after I filmed this. And I am happy to say that I have been going strong ever since. I believe I am at a 68-day streak now. And of course, if you want to try your own personal trainer with Trainwell, they genuinely are amazing. I will make sure to link that in the description box. Anytime I'm going to go to the gym, I am still proactive with trying to put my gym clothes in the car, so I have no excuse. I would be lying if I said I did it all the time, but I definitely do it a majority of the time now, and it has definitely helped. I have not kept up as much with the physical therapy for my foot, but I'm doing it more than I was, so that's progress. I still write all kinds of to-do lists because that part I was honestly doing before I even started the challenge. I just got a little bit better at keeping track of my to-do lists. And the very last thing, which I think was probably the hardest for me, was the no eating out, trying to create a habit of having my food at home. I will say that I have gotten significantly better at that, but it is not 100%. But I'm happy to say that all these changes overall have led me in a better direction. I am way less stressed, way less anxious, and I feel like I have a healthier relationship with food. So I'm just curious for you guys, what kind of habits do you think that you should have in place in your life to make yourself healthier and happier as a whole? Comment below and let me know. And I will see you lovely, lovely humans next time. Bye bye.